Magnificent afternoon and fantastic evening. This is Carla from Planet Union, and we are here to speak just to anyone who wants to come and speak to us in English about your culture and your way of life and how things are. And it looks like Huang is in a very cold area right now because she's wearing her heavy jacket inside, which really isn't that great to do, but it's okay. Having said that, I want to tell you that we will speak to anyone who wants to speak in English. You can come from anywhere in the world. This is Planet Union. We are here to bring the world to you. And as I say that, I am going to ask Sonia to introduce herself so I can get this shared out. And Huang, please unmute yourself. You know better. Thank you. Sonia, please introduce yourself.
Thank you, Carla, and hello, Hong. Hello, Carla. Hello, everyone who will join and who is watching us today. We are here to basically talk in English about different culture and to different people around the world. And
introduce yourself. Come on.
And I am Sania Murtaza from Pakistan. I was basically in Peshawar, that is basically the ancient city of Pakistan. But in 2007, I moved towards Islamabad, that is the capital city of Pakistan. I did my graduation 3 years back in clinical psychology, and now I am looking forward to continue my program in English country. So I'm preparing for my IELTS exams. The only thing that I am engaged nowadays in. And I'm here in order to talk to different people, and I would love to talk today to different people here.
Okay. Huang, can you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Hello, Carla, Sania. Yeah,
hello.
I'm so happy to be here. My name is Huang. I'm from Vietnam. I'm a lecturer in a government university. The place I live and work right now is about 100 kilometers away from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. But right now we have 10 days off for a Lunar New Year celebration. So that's why I stay at my parents' home, it's next to Hanoi, the neighbor Hanoi. Yes, so I have been teaching marketing, economics, and international business for more than 17 years with more than 10,000 students from different countries and different cultures. I really love teaching and talking with people in English, to communicate with people, to understand and know more about people from different places. That's why I keep joining Carla shows and every single meeting. So thank you so much, Carla, and everyone for having me here. And I'm available and ready to talk with you. Most welcome, everyone. Thank you.
Okay, so what have you been doing today, Huang?
Oh, today is my interesting day, you know. I got up early to prepare for my trip. I mean, I had to travel 100 kilometers with my scooters. Yeah, I drove my scooter and dropped my daughters at my parents' home. Right now, I stay at my parents' home to celebrate the Lunar New Year. So we bought some flowers, some food to organize and decorate our home, and we will have a big party together with our family members and relatives as well.
Huang, did I hear you say that you went there by scooter?
Yeah, I drove my scooter.
Is that how you normally get to places, Huang?
Uh, yeah, actually, it's a convenient way. It's a convenient way to go. I mean, very flexible. More flexible than using cars or buses. So whenever you want to go with like the small plate or narrow roads, you can use a scooter and you can save your time when traveling to the big city. It's very like a narrow and also crowded. So that's why using cars or big vehicle is not working good, right? So I think that using scooters is a very like mobile and also convenient to travel and visit your relatives and friends. Yep.
Now, do you have a helmet, and how do you do this? I'm very curious about it because here,
Scooters, motorbike.
yeah, I know that, but do you go with a helmet or what? How do you do this?
I, I, for me, I use my motorbike for my
No,
daily
no,
life.
no, you're not. I'm not making my question clear. If it's cold where you are, you would wear a heavy jacket. In this country, when we travel by scooter or by motorbike, we need to wear a helmet, which is a very hard hat. Do you use that when you are traveling?
Yes, of course. That's if you don't wear that helmet, it will become a lawbreaker. So policemen will stop you and you have to pay the ticket.
So you wear a helmet. Is it safe to drive like that in Vietnam? Because
Yeah,
in
for
my
me,
country, I'd be a little scared. I have had relatives who have gotten into major problems doing traveling like that.
yeah, I agree with you, but different people with different abilities. So with some people, they are not good at driving motorbikes, so they shouldn't drive. Shouldn't use motorbikes. And even some people, they are not good at driving car as well. So yeah, different people with different ways to travel. For me, it's safe when driving my scooter or motorbikes. Yeah, but sometimes I want to use and drive my car because I don't need to worry about weather, even it's hot or cold. It's no matter. But when traveling by scooters or motorbikes, you have to observe. You have to check the weather condition before traveling.
Right. We just got you, Kevin, here. Hi, how are you doing, you, Kevin?
Okay, Pete.
I'm good. Hanging in there.
Can you please introduce yourself? I'm so happy you came.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yocheved Cohen, originally from the United States. I live in Israel now. I work in translation. And I like sociology and meeting interesting people from different places.
And what type of work do you, Kevin? I know you've told me before, but there may be people watching who have never heard of you
Right,
or know anything about you. So
I work in translation primarily, some editing, primarily English, Hebrew to English translations. A little bit of editing, writing, related things, but basically translating.
And I haven't seen you for a while. What have you been doing? And I want you to meet Sonia. I know you've met Huang before, but I'd like you to meet Sonia too.
Okay, happy to do that. What have I been doing? Basically the same things I, normally do, some work, some hosting, some website matchmaking, which we've discussed here and then. Do. And actually recently I had a very interesting member that I spoke with. He was born in Switzerland. He moved to Singapore with his family for like 15 years. Then he moved to London for 5 years, and now he's living in Israel. So it's quite an interesting story.
Now, what kind of client was he?
Not
Was he
really.
matchmaking client? Or?
Yes. Yeah, not for translation. Although amazingly, even though he lived in Singapore, he went to a French-speaking school, and he was from the French-speaking part of Switzerland. So he actually just knows French and English, although his English is very good. But I was like, really? Like no Malay, no nothing, no Asian languages? Like, I mean, he lived there for 15 years. He said no. So
That's interesting. Now, is he married? Well, obviously he's
No.
not married. He's
No.
coming into you for matchmaking.
right. So yeah. Anyway, but nothing too exciting, apart from that. I've done some culinary experiments. I got sick of the food I was making. So I made a few interesting things, some more successful, some less successful. Yeah,
What
that's
kind of-
about it.
Okay, what kind of foods have you been making?
Well, very broad based. I made a really good rice and beans. That was like a Spanish style thing. I made a couple of interesting Asian style things. I bought rice noodles, and I made something supposed to have fish sauce, and I was all excited because I bought fish sauce ages ago and I didn't like it at all. So it was just sitting there, and now I finally had a recipe with it. And then I realized I think I gave it away a year or two ago because I was never using it. So I had to substitute for it. So, oh well. But it was like a noodles and stir fry type of thing, but a little bit of a Japanese twist. I made one thing with rice noodles, I made with regular noodles. Just mix it up a bit. That's about it.
Okay. Would you like to ask her anything? Thanks, Sonia.
Yeah, Carla, sure. Okay, what can I call you? I'm facing some trouble. Yocheved? Is it your name?
Yocheved.
Yocheved.
Yeah.
Okay, too difficult for me. So, what can I call you if I'm Yocheved?
That's
Okay.
what you call her. But why don't you ask her what does her name mean? Because this is Hebrew now and very new to you.
Yeah.
So ask her.
Okay, what does your name means? As it is a very difficult one to me.
Well, it's a biblical name, actually. It's a Hebrew name. It's the name of the mother of Moses. And it means respect God. But it's, because it's a biblical name and a family name, I'm named after, I think it's actually my great grandmother. So I don't know that they were thinking of the meaning per se, but that is what it divides up into.
Okay. We also follow Moses, like we call his name as Musa in our language in
Okay.
Islam. So we call it as Musa, and we consider him a prophet as well. So yeah, but I never heard of this name earlier, but I will get used to it. whenever I will meet you. I
Maybe
hope
it's
to,
also pronounced a little differently in the Arabic. I don't know.
yeah, maybe.
It's possible.
But if I pronounce it wrong, just consider it, okay?
Well, at least there's a ha in Arabic, right? So you have a chance. For English speakers, it's almost impossible because it doesn't exist, in English.
Yeah.
So and since I grew up in America, I'm very used to my name being mispronounced, misunderstood, and needing to spell it multiple times on the phone to people.
Okay.
But
Okay,
Cohen and
it's-
Khan actually, is your last name Khan or Khan? How is that pronounced?
It's Khan. Huh.
Okay,
Yeah.
because it's in Hebrew, if your last name is Khan, you're usually also Cohen. It's a status, if you will, like an affiliation to a tribe. So
Yeah.
kind of interesting that the names in both.
Okay, you mentioned about cooking. So I was wondering that I'm also very good in cooking, but I usually make dishes that are more cultural, traditional one. But I also make fast food that isn't part of our culture, but it's, from all over the world, like
Mhm.
chow mein, spaghetti, and burgers, pasta. I just pick different recipes belonging to different cultures and just try it in home. So
Mhm.
I'm also into cooking much.
And it's fine. Where do you live? You might have said earlier, but I didn't hear.
Yeah, you weren't here when I introduced myself. I would love to just tell you. I'm from Pakistan.
Okay.
Yeah. And currently I'm living in the capital city of Pakistan, that is Islamabad specifically.
Okay.
Yeah.
And she is working on getting her English good enough to take IELTS and
Yeah.
travel abroad to study.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
Although
the
now,
future plans.
go ahead.
Okay, hold on. Say hi to Yocheved.
Hello, Jokevic.
Hi. Good to
Long
see you
time no
again.
see.
I think the last meetup I had a wedding or something. I had a conflict. So
Oh,
Yeah.
long time. I
yeah,
haven't
a while
talked with
back.
you.
Yeah, that was a while ago.
So,
You
very-
know,
yes.
I have a question for all of you, and we can go around and ask. It's holiday season for Vietnam, apparently. And I believe there's something also going on in Pakistan, and I don't think in Israel, but we can think about different holidays. Can you find your favorite? Tell us what the new year is going to be like in Vietnam, please. Go on.
Thank you so much for asking us about that, because this is a very special event and occasion for us, in Vietnam. And some different countries like Japan as well, they also celebrate this kind of event. And we have 10 days off for this celebration. And apart from that, we will have like a little money from our government or companies or organizations wherever you are working for. Yeah, so you will prepare some kind of food for the family, as well as decorate your house or home with a lot of flowers and good things, yeah, to make your neighborhood, your apartment clean, tidy, and also neat. Yeah. And moreover, you have to prepare some gift for the relatives, for the family members, like for children, for example, you should buy some new clothes for them, and you should prepare some lucky money, yes, to give them. It's kind of wish for the next coming year. Yeah, and wish them for new achievement for the next journey. So that's kind of activities, and we usually make some kind of cakes together.
Asking about
As
food.
yeah, the last day of the year, so we will cook together. I mean, we will gather around the stove with a big pot, big pot. We put cake inside. We have that kind of cake we call chung cake, the square one, yeah, to represent for our earth, squared cake, yeah, and we make that kind of cake to commemorate our ancestors, yeah, about the first king of my country. Same, that king, he taught us um how can say um how to make a crop, yeah, how to grow rice, and how, like how to do farming, right? Yeah. So yeah, so it kind of like growing and planting rice for food, and after we have it rice, we will make different kind of cakes and dishes for our family members. So that king taught us how to make that kind of cake, and it's a kind of legends, stories about he was fighting for son-in-law. Yeah, the son-in-law finds a way, the best way to cook that kind of cake. So he would become his son-in-law to get married with his daughter. Yeah, so that's why, yes, that's very interesting story. But we are worshiping our ancestor and our beloved people who die, and also like heroes in my country who has sacrificed their their bodies and their life to gain independence for us, to give us good life like this. Yeah.
How, so it's sort of like our Christmas, but different, would you say?
Yeah, it's kind of that, but I have heard that kind of Christmas is kind of like a commercial event or occasions.
Say that again, I'm
Do you
sorry.
think so? People usually say that Christmas is kind of like commercials event or occasions.
Yeah,
No, it's not. Here's a Lunar New Year. No, it's a totally different. That's kind of traditional and customs activities.
so it's not the same at all.
Not kind of doing business. No.
Now, but you're buying gifts. I know that you have the big parade. Can you tell us about the parade? Will you be going to it?
Yes. Here we get money, lucky money, and clothes for children, new clothes for children, and prepare money, lucky money for children, for our parents, for our beloved people or relatives, to give them best for the coming year, right? Upcoming year. So we don't need to buy gifts, but we should buy clothes, new clothes, yeah, and like prepare small amount of money, not much, but It's kind of lucky money. You should give. Yeah.
Why do you call it lucky money? I'm really curious about this. This is new to me.
Yeah. In my opinion, that kind of custom, we believe that that kind of small investment for the next journey, I mean, for children or for our beloved people to start a new year with that kind of money or lucky things. Yeah, for the next year, we wish them all the best their journey. We will support them. Yeah, with that kind of everything should start from lucky thing.
Wow. Do you have any questions about this, Sonia? Because it's all new to me, to be honest.
Carla, it seems to me it is resembled to our culture, because we also celebrate Eid and we also give younger ones Eid, that is some kind of money, and elder ones gift and buy new clothes. So it is really related to my culture as well, what Huang told me. But only there is a difference between the names, that they call it lunar year and we called it Eid. So there's only one difference. But most of the things that Huang mentioned are similar to my culture as well.
Wow.
Isn't that cool? People
Yeah.
don't realize that these cultures are very, very similar. Do you see anything similar in Israel? Yocheved? And then we'll introduce, this guy will introduce himself.
Not too much. There is on some custom of giving gifts or money on Hanukkah, which is a winter holiday here, but it's not like the main part. And also it's not connected with the new year at all. So what there is connected to the new year, I guess the idea of some kind of good wishes, omens, whatever, like it's customary to eat sweet foods for the new year, and even to make puns, like to eat things where you can connect them to some kind of good wish or blessing for the upcoming year, things like that. So I guess, maybe there's a little bit of overlap, but not so much.
But that's important to recognize that, it may be a smaller celebration for us, but it's a celebration. Can you please, Muhammad Aqib? Oh, it's Aqib. Can you please introduce yourself?
Hi, Carla.
Hi.
My name is Muhammad Aqib, and I am from Attock, Punjab, Pakistan. I'm student of clinical psychology. I'm doing MS from International Islamic University, Islamabad. And I also work as an internee psychologist in different hospitals. And I have been following you since COVID began. So this is almost I have no idea how much show I joined you. You are much familiar with me, I think.
I didn't even know that, because you just began to come to the show.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us. What is your favorite holiday?
My favorite holiday, Eid is Eid is my favorite holiday, because we share gift with younger, and we we forget all the differences with elder and with younger, and we forgive all the mistake which is taken by elder or younger. But on the occasion of Eid, occasion of Eid, we can forget all the differences and embrace each other.
Now, I have a big question about this because you just said that. On the occasion of Eid, we forget all the differences. Why don't we do that every day of the year? Why do we only do it on holidays? And I'm going to ask everyone this, but I'm going to start with you, Akib, because you brought it up.
Actually, we consider that Eid. We consider that Eid is our special day. That's why we forgive on that day. But every day is important. We can't recognize, or we can't consider it. But everything is important. So that's why.
I agree with you. Every day and everyone is important, but we make holidays a time to make this so well known. And I'm just wondering why do we do that? What are your thoughts on that? And I'm going to ask everyone. I'm not going to just pick on you.
Actually, it's we learn from our ancestors, our elders. So they they are the one who set these traditions. So that's why unconsciously we follow him, and we follow these uh, tradition, and carry on like these things.
Okay. What do you want to say about that, Kevin?
Well,
Sorry?
Kevin, we're going next. We'll be coming back to you. This isn't the English show. It's a little different.
I think that some of it is the idea that we can't focus on everything all the time. Like, we're all human, and to some degree, I think the holidays through the year, and I imagine this is true to a large degree in all cultures, focus on different lessons or different ideas. And it's not that they aren't applicable the rest of the time, but it's that we can't focus on everything with everyone all the time. Having said that, there's a very cute saying that I don't remember what famous person was attributed to, but in the Jewish calendar, you have what's referred to in English as the high holy days, the New Year, Rosh Hashanah, and then the Day of Atonement, which is forgiveness, clearly Yom Kippur. And there's 10 days in that time period that are called the 10 days of repentance, where you're supposed to make everything good between you and other people and you and God. So someone said, more important to behave well in the time period between the Day of Atonement and Rosh Hashanah, meaning which is the entire year, than just the 10 days between the two. So people are aware, again, it's not that these things only apply then, but again, I think it's more a matter of focus and, sort of taking turns at the messages that you're working at and on, and devoting particular efforts to.
Okay. What do you want to say on this topic, Sonia?
Okay, Carla, I think so that we just consider these things, the forgiveness and gift exchanging things to the customs or occasions, because I think so that this is the time when people find time for each other in order to greet each other, in order to meet or be in one place. So at that time, I think so that you questioned that why do we just restrict the value of forgiveness to only one occasion or two holidays. So I think so this is for the fact that it's the time when everyone has to be one, and when everyone has to be in one place and just to share that happiness with each other. So I think so that's what our elders or ancestors set this time for, that at that time you shouldn't just walk away from each other. This is a time when you have to come at one place and share your happiness with each other, beside everything that has gone in the past year, and just forgive everything and everyone. So I think so that it has a very like deep meaning with a culture, or it is very like related to the culture.
Okay. And Hoang, how do you feel about this issue?
Yeah, I agree with all of them. Yes, that's the time, the special time. But in my opinion, another things I can say that we should put a specific day or occasions to raise awareness, to educate our next generation, as well to remind them that people should continue doing good things to other people and keep spreading that kind of goodness, right? And kindness to the next generation and other people, to the community, society as well. Not that specific day only. Yeah, but that kind of reminding all people. Yep.
Okay. What would I know that when I was a kid, I really, I got excited about the holidays. But as I grew up, I began feeling, why aren't we kind to everyone now? Why are we not always joyful? And I'm wondering what your answers are to that. I'll answer it later, but I want to hear what you have to say. And we'll start with Sonia.
Yeah, Carla, I also sometimes think of this that rather than taking things negatively, everything has only, even though bad things also has a positive thing, that we can learn from that. We can learn a lesson from that if something bad happens, or something that makes us sad. So I think so that you have raised a very good question. And I also sometimes think that why do we go for the sad things? Why don't we enjoy and take everything as positive and enjoy our life? And when I was also a kid, I used to I feel that I was more happy when I was kid. But that happiness has has finished now, till I have grown up. Because when I was kid, I wasn't worried about my future. I wasn't worried about anything of earning or becoming independent or becoming successful or wanting something. My happiness was limited to that I want to have candy, but like small things. I was really happy by doing small facts and small things. So I think so that that was a very precious time and golden time when we weren't thinking about our future, and we were happy with small things. So that's the thing.
Well, that's the problem. As we grow up, we begin regretting mistakes we make, which is silly because when we make a mistake, that's how we learn and succeed. And we also worry about the future, and we don't know what's going to happen in the future. I don't know what's going to happen a minute from now. So, what is the value of worrying and regretting in your mind?
I think so that Carla, it doesn't have any value because I'm a psychologist. Okay, so I always want to spread positivity. You know, sometime when people refer to me and say that I'm sad, I'm having trouble, I'm facing problems. So I say that if you are facing problem, if you are having trouble, if your life is totally destroyed or isn't good, but you can take it as a positive. Then they question me that how can we take a positive take things positive if they are bad. So I tell them that you can just consider those things as a learning lessons. So if you are learning from something, then that is very beneficial for your life. So if you are thinking about worries and all these kind of stuff, then you are making yourself, in problem, and you are affecting yourself. So if you aren't loyal to yourself, how can you be loyal to the world? You know, so stop taking worrying about things and take everything as a positive. So I always ask every people to you can find happiness or you can find positive thing in even negative things. So just find that point and start being happy about that.
Right. This very moment is all we have. Why aren't we feeling that joy? What's going on there? Huang, what do you think?
Yes, to be honest, in my opinion, people, we have different brain and different kind of knowledge from animal and other kind of non-living things. So people recognize that we should learn from each other, and we should recognize that we are not perfect. So we can make mistake and learn from our mistake as well. And we are from different culture and different backgrounds. So we have to collaborate with each other, yes, and be happy with whatever you have, right? And keep learning and improving yourself by learning from other people and other kind of communities and even other groups as well, by observing, by watching and reading. Yes.
Okay, you, Kevin, what do you think?
I think there are two separate issues that you had originally discussed. One was the issue of kindness and one was the issue of happiness. So I think those are separate. And I think that most people, traditions, religions, etc., would be in favor of kindness all the time. And actually, within Judaism, there's a very famous statement that says that acts of loving kindness are one of the three pillars that sustain the world. So that's like a separate issue. And I don't think the holidays are, I mean, certain things you're kinder, there might be more hospitality then, but globally speaking, I think that kindness is a value that is not limited to any specific time. In terms of the joy, even that, I think there's also separate areas, but I think that whereas I accept positive psychology to a degree, and often there are things that, you can look for the best, but I think to expect people to always be in a good mood is not realistic. And in some ways, it's not even human. If somebody is dying of, is in stage 4 terminal cancer, they can focus on the good life they've had or what they've accomplished or who they've been there, but they can also be sad. Like, that's okay. And they could be in pain. And that's okay too. Like, in some ways, it's not fair to negate that or take that away from a person. Sometimes people are suffering. So there's also like a difference between, getting upset because, a clerk was rude in the supermarket and getting upset because someone just died. Like, that's all, So I think a lot of us spend a lot of time being stressed out and sad about things that are not so important. But on the other hand, what can you do? There are things that are important and significant that are sometimes very difficult, like I said, difficult, sad, painful, and I think that there has to be space for that too. But having said that, the idea of having a certain island of time where you say, okay, I'm going to put out of my mind the difficult, the painful as best I can. I think that makes sense, but I think almost by definition, it cannot be full time.
I agree with you. I mean, if something negative happens, you can't say, oh, I'm happy that person died. No, you're not. And you'll feel that sadness. And you need to feel it in order to switch back to joy. So, the two things come together. Being kind to someone who is suffering helps that person get through whatever he or she is dealing with. And of course, we don't even know what a person is going through. We have no idea. You can comment. Akib, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree with you that that if we can't have bright without darkness, we can't have we can't distinguish the importance of brightness. If that if negative emotions are also essential and important sometimes, in some occasion it is important to be said and it's okay. And actually I can't have exact word how to elaborate these things.
You're doing very well. Keep on going.
So I think that this we can't eliminate negativities. Negativities are important. And it has significance. It tells us about positivities, importance of positivity.
Right.
Yeah.
No,
And
if that's true. Yeah, go on.
If we wouldn't face any sad moment or sadness, how we will give the importance, or how we will say that happiness is important.
Yeah.
If we suffer from sadness, then we will value what is happiness is, what actual happiness is. So basically, I have read somewhere that sadness is basically part of life, and it basically strengthens the value of happiness. If we will face sadness, then we will value happiness a lot, in return.
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
sadness and happiness are the two different sides of the
Yes.
coin. You can be either happy or you can be sad. But when you recognize that, you can flip it very much easier than if you don't. You can flip it by thinking, what makes me happy? Because when we are always thinking negative, or sadness, we're focusing on that, and it doesn't allow us to make that flip. What do you think? Let's hear what you guys think about what I just said. You'll cover it.
I'm not sure.
That's okay. What do you think? You don't have to agree with me.
I think that that part of life, that life is complex and it has these different, pluses, the minuses. If I were setting it up, I still think I know people argue, and it's also a religious argument to some degree with the ever-present question of theodicy is the fancy English word. Why bad things happen to good people? And this is part of that argument too. Well, you couldn't appreciate it. I don't know. I would still kind of be okay without suffering and pain and disease. I'm kind of in favor of that, but I don't really have a vote on it. So given that we can't control for any of that, I actually think that their kindness can fit in a bit, and at least the claim is, and I think there's some truth, that if you are suffering, having a hard time, in a bad mood, in pain, that if you try to help somebody else, do something for someone else who's tough, that often that will give you a boost as well. You'll end up feeling better about it. And to a large degree, I feel like we have very limited control, which the last couple of years in this world of ours, I think everybody on some level realizes in a more extreme way than even if they knew it theoretically beforehand. And we can only really control our behavior and, what we do in response. So, I mean, one of my friends had told one of her kids, after a good friend of hers had died quite young from cancer, and like, what do you do about that? And she said, be nice to people. That's what we can do. That's how we can help the world. We can't, unfortunately, heal, maybe, doctors have a limited ability to do that, but there are some things that people cannot fix. And the best that you can do is to try to fix what you can. That's all.
And I agree with you. Sonia.
Yeah. Actually, Kevin, I just wanted to say something for this. Actually, that I totally understand this thing, that if very loved one of yours has died, and you cannot say that that thing doesn't matter to me, and I'm happy that he died. You cannot say, and none of our cultures has that thing. Everyone feels sad, even though if you are close to any animal, like you have a pet, dog or cat, even if that thing suffers, you just feel sad about that thing. Or if that thing is in pain, then you are sad. Then how comes this wouldn't apply to the humans? But I think so that we are healers. Like, we have healers in ourselves. Everyone has. And we have a psychologist, we have a positive person in ourselves, within ourselves. Okay. So, rather than just getting into depression or getting sad about that every time or most of the time, why not we just ask one thing from ourselves, that would that worry or sadness bring anything to us? Would that tears bring that person back to us? No, they cannot. Then why are we making our health suffer for that? So just, it's part of our nature. And lots of people are born and lots of people die. But you can remember their positive things, the time you spend with that person, and be positive and be happy about what time you have spent with that person by remembering that. But I think so that it's not appropriate in order to just be in depression, because I have so much young people going into depression after losing someone. So I often say them that, can your sadness bring that person back? Or can, if they were with you, would be happy by seeing tears in your eyes? No, they cannot be. So just wipe those tears and just remember that how that person would be happy by spending your life in the way that they want. They want you happy, so just be happy. So that's the thing, everything has positivity. So we just have to pick up that point, that positive thing.
I agree with you, Sonia, to a point. I remember when my dad died. Well, both my parents are gone now. But I remember when they died, I had two reactions. One was, they're gone. The other reaction was they're out of the pain that they were feeling, and I feel joy for that. But if I didn't allow myself to feel that sadness, I would have been lying to myself. And a year ago, I thought I was losing my dog. He's still here and he's probably in better health than he was for a long time. But I was very sad thinking, oh, he's going. And I needed to feel that. And now I look at him and he didn't bark for about a year and now he's barking again. And I'm very joyful about that. But, you know, here comes the noise again. And he begins barking when he feels like barking. And I'm like, I want to go back to the days when he wasn't barking. So that the joy and the sadness go together. We can't just deny a feeling of sadness. We need to allow it to be there. See, Kevin, I do agree with you more than you realize. Hoang, what do you think? Sonia,
Yes.
do you want to say anything before we go to you, Hoang?
No, we can move towards Huang. I would love to hear her view.
Yeah, thank you. That's a very interesting sharings. Yeah, I can say that we are human beings, so we have emotion, we have feelings. Yeah, I can say like mixed feelings, right? Yeah, sadness and joy. Yeah, of course. But I do believe that we will become what we believe. If all the time we think about negative thoughts, ideas, so that will not work well for you. Yeah, so we should like accept. Yeah, we call here sometimes we remind each other like we should buy the bullet, right? That will accept.
Let me help you with that word, not the bullet, the bullet.
Bullet. Yeah.
I think that's great. So do you believe that it's okay to be sad? Yes, no, maybe. Hoang.
Yeah, we are human being. I have said that. Yeah, we have emotions. We are not like non-living things. Yeah.
Well, even non-living things have cells in them that are living. I mean, the rock, you know, you wouldn't think so, but the rock is made up of cells. The plants are living. We may not talk to them like we talk to each other, but we talk to them. My cats have a lot to say sometimes. And I talk to them. We talk in two different languages, but I think we sort of understand each other. Okay, Akib, what do you think? Akib, are you there?
Yeah, yeah, yes. Actually, hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. You know that Viktor Frankl said that in abnormal situation, you behave abnormal is a normal thing. He said, hello.
Keep going. We can hear you.
Okay, so if you face any trouble or any trauma in life and like death of loved one, so it's okay. If you said it's okay, so I think it's a it's a normal thing. We consider it as a normal. And if someone someone feel pleasure to death of a loved one, so as a psychologist, we consider it as abnormal behavior. So that's why these norms and values are set by society's people. So we have to follow these rule and these norms and values. That's why these societies grow and flourish.
Right. Does anyone want to answer him before we close the show?
Carla, actually, I wanted to talk about the thing that you earlier mentioned to Huang, that non-living things also has feelings, and those are made of cells. And the thing that you mentioned, I was wondering that I'm a person who talks to plants.
Great.
So I was thinking that Huang is very right. Like she was telling me, like Huang the thing, and I realized that I used to talk to plants a lot, and I have lots of growth in them. I want to share one thing. Once I had a plant, and it was wasn't giving flowers, and wasn't giving new leaves, and I was wondering that it would die. Okay, so I don't know, one day I just sat around it, and I said that you used to give so much beautiful flowers, and why have you stopped giving it? And I used to talk to the plants, and from that day after a while it started giving leaves and flowers, and I was shocked. Then I realized that, they feel and they understand. Like when you just give love to plants, and they give you in return something. So I have, my aunt once told me that I always told her that I don't know what happened. And you have the plants, and when you gave it to me, it wilts. Okay. But you have the same plant, and it gives you flowers, and it grows a lot in your house. So she says that, do you know, I give them love. Whenever I water them, I waters them with love. I talk to them. I just say them that how beautiful your flowers are, and I use these kinds of words. So just start doing that, and you will realize that they will respond in return, and they do. I just talk to the plants a lot now.
And that's great. That's important, because the more you talk to these beings, I mean, I talk to trees at times. People think I'm crazy, but that's okay. I'm used to it. I talk to my dog all the time. Sometimes he listens, sometimes he doesn't. And the cats, the same thing. They listen, if they're in the mood, but isn't that true of humans?
Yeah, exactly. I would agree with you. You and me have something in similar. You talk to plants.
Well, I can't, because my cats have destroyed all my plants. I gave up on plants about 10, 15 years ago because of what they were doing.
Oh, that's the sad part now.
Yeah, it becomes really sad. But at the same time, I have some very crazy, funny cats.
Yeah, you can keep like one thing in your house, either animal or plants, because they are enemies to each other. We used to have plants a lot at the backyard, but when we just started having hens, they just eat it all the plants. So we just I was really crazy about that. I used to say to my father that, why have you bring lots of hens? They have just damaged my plants. I used to talk to plants a lot, and now they're damaging them.
I've read articles that say that plants respond to being spoken to. I personally have a black thumb and not particular interest, and I don't like pets either, for that matter. My brother and sister-in-law. My brother doesn't like pets either, but he got outvoted by the rest of his family. They have a blind cat who somehow
Right.
adopted them.
Oh.
So anyway,
Anyway, we have come to an hour. This has been really a fun conversation. I want to thank you guys for being here. I want to thank those who may have watched or will watch later. And we will have this show again. It's a once a month thing. I'm not sure of the date, but I am going to try to make it a little more consistent of the same week so we can maybe gather more people. But for now, thank you, Halong. Thank you, Akib. Thank you, Yocheved. Thank you, Sonia, for being here. Let's wave. Goodbye.
nice to meet everybody and see
Thank
people
you.
again.
Same
Nice to meet
here.
And nice
you.
having you. And with
Take care,
that,
everybody. Stay healthy.
yeah.